Another Saturday and yet another march in central London. Huge numbers of people once again turning out. Extraordinary that we've had all this talk over the course of the last few days. Michael Gove keen to appoint a new czar to deal with Islamophobia, because that, it seems to be the major problem as far as the government's concerned. Much talk about prejudice against Muslims, and yet almost no talk in Westminster about prejudice going the other way. I met people over the weekend saying, well, if they want to protect the Muslim community, what about us? Who is going to protect us? Well, from that we get precious little. Just one of the chants that was available for those who care to listen on the London streets this week was one about Yemen. Just watch these scenes.
Guys, you know what that reference is? The Yemen reference.
I'm listening to my earpiece, sorry.
The Yemen reference, what that is to the Houthis, prescribed terror organisation.
I'm listening to my earpiece, sorry.
You didn't hear anything? They're still doing it now? No?
It's all being recorded by the police monitor.
Oh, okay, well, thanks for your help.
Well, perfectly clear what was happening there. There we had the mob in the street, effectively supporting the Houthis, an organisation who are a terrorist organisation prescribed in America, not yet here, for reasons I don't quite understand. And they're saying, please turn more ships around. That means send more rockets, send more missiles, kill more merchant seamen. And yet old Bill just cock a deafin, as if to say, nothing to do with us, Governor, it's all too difficult. But now put the boot on the other foot and have a look at the case of Nayak Ghorban. Now, he is an Iranian dissident, very against the Islamist, regime that has been there for the last 40 years. And he was out on the London streets holding up a sign. Yes, I accept that it may well have been provocative to many of the marchers, but the sign simply said Hamas are terrorists. And yes, they are, because they are prescribed by the British government. They are recognised as a terrorist organisation. And yet, for his trouble of standing up with a sign saying something that was actually factually correct, he found himself, well, of course, to begin with, abused by many of the marchers, but he knew he'd get that, but then pounced upon by up to half a dozen police officers. Up to half a dozen police officers wrestled him to the ground, and he was arrested. Yep, arrested for holding up a sign that told the truth. And some of these scenes are really quite extraordinary. In fact, I find it hard to believe this is even happening in a country that is our own. But that is what is going on. Yes, it was provocative. I accept that. I get that. But for the police to ignore chants encouraging the Houthis to send missiles against merchant vessels, and this guy gets literally pushed to the ground by the police and arrested. Now, he was later on de-arrested. Now, in mitigation, there was a post put up on X, formerly Twitter, a community posting which said, a video has been posted alleging officers arrested a man for having an anti-Hamas placard. This isn't accurate. He was arrested after an altercation was ongoing and officers intervened to prevent a breach of the peace. He was arrested for assault. Well, one man against 200,000, maybe he was. Officers then fully reviewed the footage and he was later de-arrested. The arrest was not made in relation to the placard. Well, you can believe what you want to believe. But have a look, have a listen to this interview that was done by an undercover journalist with Ghorban shortly afterwards.
Why have you been arrested?
Because I'm writing down Hamas is terrorist organization. That's it. That's it.
What did it say on your sign? What did it say on your sign?
Hamas is terrorist. Hamas is terrorist. UK law, UK put the Hamas terrorist organization on March 2001. And they arrested me because of that. That's it.
They've arrested you because of the sign?
Exactly.
Well, I've given you all sides of the argument there, including a community note. But let me ask you, do you think we now have two-tier policing in this country? Because you know what? I do. And with every week that goes by, I fear it gets worse. Do we have two-tier policing? Your thoughts, please, to farage@gbnews.com.